What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. Today's video, we're going to take a look at some fun battles that I did in the Great League. I built a Great League regular Johto Corsola, and I haven't seen anybody talking about this thing yet, so I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and give it a shot. And then I found that Niantic banned it from the Love Cup, so I was sad for the first day, and then I got told the next day they unbanned it. So here we are, taking a look at Corsola in the Love Cup. This video is not necessarily about to tell you that you need to go and build a Corsola. What we're doing here today is we're taking a look at a Pokemon that's not very common in the format, so that either you can be prepared for it if you see it, or maybe you do want to build one and you just want to see if it's any good. So this Corsola team is going to be featuring a Ariados in the back. I'm thinking of the things that Corsola does not like. It's going to be the fighters. It's going to be, to a degree, some of the rollout users, but not really. Ariados isn't covering for those. It's really just kind of helpful in some, neutral situations, but also other water types like Alomomola are things that Ariados does very well against. So, and also Corsola does very well against the fire types. So Ariados and Corsola make a really good pairing in this cup. And on the safe swap, what we're going to be using is my Medicham that I've had built forever at this point. The only XL Medicham that I have. And the reason why we're using Medicham on the safe switch here is because it's going to draw out those Talonflames, those Slowbros, the things that Corsola typically does okay against her. So let's get ahead and get into these battles here in the Great League Love Cup and check Corsola out and see, is it really worth the Stardust? Do you really need one? My goodness, that was loud. My bad if I blew anybody's ears out, but we ride. We have a Wigglytuff in the lead here, and we're going to be going for Rock Blast when we get up to the move. Before they can throw a potential move, it does, Swift would be resisted here. Not something that I'm really worried about, but I do see the fighting typing on the top right when they switch, and I'm going to come in with my Ariados here. Probably should have come with my Medicham, but the opponent's Beware has Shadow Claw, and because I'm not running counter, I'm not consistently going to be able to make it to energy that actually hurts this thing. I'd have to really rely on my Psycho Cuts, which may not be as helpful, especially knowing this thing has payback. So we're going to be going for the lunges here. Opponent's Worth wants to shield. I am going to be able to get one more Poison Sting through here after the shield to knock out, so I'm going to go ahead and shield because I would like to have my Ariados healthy enough in case they have something in the back that I need to have switch advantage for. Because Medicham cannot see the Wigglytuff, it would just be a bad time. So we're going to end up seeing them have a Miltank in the back here, and I'm going to be going ahead and just trying to get to a move. I can't get there. My opponent throws right before I get there, but it's just a body slam. And so I go straight for my lunge here, realizing I'm probably about to get knocked out by a rollout. So I'm going to go ahead and get that damage in, and then immediately switch back into my Corsola when I realize that my Ariados has survived that endeavor. And we're going to be going straight into the Corsola here. And even though I said I want to keep Medicham away from this thing, if the opponent tries to take us out here, which they almost do, I should have just gone for the Rock Blast, but I wanted to go for that Power Gem. However, we did force their energy, which is a good thing here. I'm going to wait out my switch timer so that I might be able to utilize my Ariados as a catch at some point, and the opponent is going to be staying in to throw some energy. A Swift or Icy Wind here, one of the two, but neither are going to be fatal. I just have to make sure they don't catch on me. And they are, you see how they didn't attack for a moment there? There's a tactic that you often hear about waiting the turn. That's what that looks like. That's not attacking on purpose to see if the opponent goes for a move or if they decide to go for a swap or something else, right? That's your way of not doing an action, being locked into that fast move. My opponent tries to do that, but I notice it, and because of how quickly Ariados' moves go through, I'm able to react just in time to catch the body slam on my Ariados here, and then we can get a Psychic against the Wigglytuff. I'm pretty sure Dynamic Punch does more damage. I'm not sure, but we're gonna go for Psychic because I just needed to hit a button, and that was the one I pressed. So, good game. Wiggly's a bit of a pain for this team, not going to lie. Because Corsola, although it has some interesting typing, Rock and Water typing is not incredibly well defensively. However, it is good enough against Galarian Slowbro, which is a Pokemon that is incredibly common in this cup. And we're going to be sending in our Medicham to the opponent's Licky Licky safe switch here, as we don't want to put Ariados on this. The opponent lets that move through. And I'm not happy about farming this down, but especially now that they've shown me that they have Shadow Ball. So I'm basically going to have to continue to go for moves here. Now, the opponent's going to go for another move. I am going to let this go because it feels like it's just a body slam at this range. And I'm not really sure here that I need switch because Ariados does fairly well into the Galarian Slowbro as well. So I'll actually be happy enough to take shield advantage, but the opponent does give me switch. But Corsola is going to be able to come right back in here, just picking right back up where it left off. as the opponent's Slowbro didn't really get any energy that it's going to help it get ahead in this matchup. So we can just keep Corsola here. If the opponent swaps out right away like they did, it tells me that they most likely have two strong answers in the back to what I have in the lead. So I'm going to be going for a little bit of a bubble down here. I know that the opponent might be at a Scald or a Surf now, so I'm going to shield it. They have the Scald, which is heavier hitting than the Brutal Swing, but that clears me for a full farm down to the Slowbro. And the opponent has a Soul Rock in the back, so they're a little bit weak to Corsola here. Corsola is going to not have the bulk that its Galarian counterpart really seems to have. At least if it does have the bulk, it doesn't show as well. So they have different stats, I'm pretty sure. But we're going to be able to bubble down the Soul Rock, and the opponent is saving their shields for the next battle. Good game. Next game, we got Miltank on the lead. I do have to be cautious of this thing having Thunderbolt. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stay in just for a little bit. Maybe go for a move, depending. We're going to go for that Power Gem, and the opponent has thrown as well. So I kind of expect them to have Thunderbolt, but I want to test the bulk of my Corsola here. So I'm going to no-shield this and see how much damage the Thunderbolt does. And if they don't throw Thunderbolt, I'm pretty sure that they don't have it. Opponent goes for a Body Slam here. So I feel pretty confident that they don't have the Thunderbolt. Now they're going to go for two rollouts, which is, it felt like just another Body Slam, which is why I didn't shield it. But they hit me with a Thunderbolt. And now I'm going to bank the move for later, come in with my Medicham, and the opponent responds with the Slowbro, which is a very strong response to Medicham in this cup. But again, it's nice to be able to get this out. Ariados, while it could do fine in this matchup, really not something that I appreciate having to deal with, because it's just poison on poison violence, and they're just, the one's lunging, the other one's brutal swinging. It's a mess. But Ariados does nicely outpace in that matchup if I had to. Poison Sting also is a poison type move, not a bug type move, as I've just now noticed. So we can fix that live while we're doing the recording, because that's the wonderful thing about doing these in one take. I'll just do whatever. Doesn't matter. Y'all get a genuine one take situation. So the opponent does go for the Brutal Swing here. They knock us out. I'm going to come in with my Corsola, knowing that I resist these poison jabs. I can get at least one more charge move in. Maybe two if I'm lucky, but I think I'm just too low at this point. So I'm just going to let Ariados try and finish this game. Opponent comes in immediately, throws a charge move after a rollout, and I'm going to go ahead and let it go. It's just the Body Slam this time. But the problem is that the opponent is just, I can't farm down. I have to throw energy in order to get out of this matchup. They're doing a lot of damage with those rollouts pretty quickly. They decide to shield up here. They do take a lunge, and it feels really bad if I have to shield this, but I kind of have to at this point. The Body Slam comes through, and the opponent going to get to a charge move here before I'm able to get to my lunge. Unless they have snuck a Malamar into the Love Cup, I don't think I'm going to be able to win this game. And they have the Medicham, which I'm trying to go for the double lunge here, but unfortunately I'm just a little bit too short, and the Medicham is going to be able to take us out. So far, and I'm not saying these were glamorous sets. These were a couple of 3-2 sets that I played, and for those of you who know, I had to take a little bit of a break this week. It's just mental health is important, man. I cannot get over how important it is to be able to make sure that you are aware of your mental health and able to just take care of yourself, or have people around you that can help you when you need that stuff. Man, I cannot tell you all how important that stuff is to have in your life, and I wish everybody could do it, have that stuff. But anyway, I have adjusted my stream schedule as well. For those of you who catch my streams, I'm going to be streaming on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I forgot to change it below here. I'm going to change it for future content. I was out of it this week, and we're back up. We're good, up and running. And Corsola, yeah. So that's what we're here about, right? Is Corsola worth it? If you're in this long already, if you're in the video this long, thank you first of all, as I know that there's plenty of player or trainers out there who just want to get the team and kind of just go about their day, which is totally fair. I've been guilty of that myself, but yeah, this Corsola is okay. I pretty much am just like, it's okay. It's not a must-have. It's definitely not worth. If you're thrifting for Stardust, definitely not worth your Stardust. What is worth your Stardust is Ariados and the Medicham, if you're going to take anything away from this. But yeah, Corsola just wasn't really it. It felt fine and it felt powerful, and I don't get my charge move in because I just don't press buttons properly. But yeah, licky in the back. We're going to have to pull some magic out of our hats for this one. Now, thankfully, the charge moves here don't really do much, but I have to be careful of an Earthquake coming from my opponent, which is definitely likely to happen here, especially on my Corsola. I have to be careful about that. Earthquake does hit pretty hard here. I'm going to be going to save the lunge, and if I had just thrown it, Might be a little bit easier of a matchup here. I could have just possibly farmed this down. But that power gem is going to do quite a bit of damage here, and Corsola can hang on. Does it take a body slam? I think it is, because it didn't feel like enough for another earthquake. Opponent's going to come in with that Ariados, but they were just shy of the charge move by about 3 or 4 poison stings. I think it was 4, because they would have been at 3 there and would have cap-tied us. We're going to take them out. That's how you deal with an Ariados lead, ladies and gentlemen. You just psych them out. Next game against a buddy of mine, Custom Approach. Playing Slow King. Respect this trainer a lot. They are very good at the game, at least in my experience. I've played them a few times in various formats, and it's always been a good match in either case. But opponent's going to be going for that Shadow Ball, as I do know Slow King is... I am rising on Slow King, not because of this game, of course, but lately I've been playing it in the Love Cup, and I'm trying to find the right team to feature so that I can be confident that when I drop a video on it, it's the good stuff. I don't want to be giving y'all some half-baked content like I am with this Corsola video here. Listen. Kid. But I really wanted to just showcase Corsola because I built it. I want to use it, honestly. That's really all it comes down to. I spent the dust, and I need to use this thing. Otherwise, it's going to sit there in my inventory and drive me crazy. But we're going to... we're going to be getting Corsola in here pretty shortly after we get rid of the Sea King. Thankfully, the attack drops, meaning we're going to be able to get that off, but unfortunately, I swap a little bit too late, and now we're going to be trying to get rid of the Slow King. Going to come down to whatever the opponent's going to have in the back, and I'm just hopeful that Medicham and Corsola can kind of handle it. Can we get this farm down? I'm not sure I can. I didn't want to risk it, so I'm going to go ahead and throw the energy here, just get rid of this Slow King, which, in hindsight, I probably could have gotten the farm down, but I wasn't sure about it, and the opponent's going to come in with a Confusion Kanto Slowbro, and I react a little bit just too slow. Timing's all wrong. Yeah, I'm misplaying this battle pretty badly, I feel. Certainly not on purpose. Like I told y'all, man, I was a little bit out of it last week, but opponent makes a really nice play. Let me explain to y'all real quick what it was that I was trying to do. You see, I was one move away on the Ariados from a lunge, and I was going to come in, and this is one of the reasons why I respect this player. The Custom Approach is good at this game, and I will say it publicly because he needs to know. He probably knows that I'm one away from the lunge, and so he immediately swaps in the Sea King at almost no HP to snipe down the energy from my Ariados so that I cannot get the lunge off. And that play, as good as it is going to probably cost me this game. I'm going to go for the Psychic, and the only thing that I can hope for at this point is a defense drop, and hopefully this does close to half. Not even close, man. If I had gotten the defense drop, maybe, or if I'd gone for 2 dynamic punches, I'm pretty sure dynamic punch does slightly more damage, but the Shadow Slowbro is just going to be too much for us to deal with here, unfortunately. We are going to go down after these confusions. Now, in hindsight, I do wonder if the dynamic punch would have mattered there, if not, but I don't think it would have, so we'll get into the next game. Good game, as always, to the trainer. So we're picking up one of the leads that I was really hoping to see. The fire leads, the opponent staying in for a moment, and then switching to a Loma Mola. And this is what we have Ariados on the team for, because we want to deal with the fish. Even though, and animations, hello? That completely looked like it was good timing. That's why I really should get better with the numbers part of things, because I'm telling y'all, every time it looks like it's right, and then it's not, and it drives me crazy. But we're going to be over farming here by quite a bit here, just to be able to try and get some extra energy just in case the opponent ends up not playing this matchup out. And I'm going to be going for these Trailblazers until I get them into a range where I can KO them with a potential lunge, or lunge and then farm down. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to get that KO with the lunge. And now I'm going to go for 4 Poison Stings if I live the Incinerate, which we do, to be able to get off a boosted Trailblaze here for some damage for the road against the Mag Cargo. Not what we really, not necessary. Corsola's pretty much got this unlocked, but every little bit helps. Energy management, just even a little bit of energy management there gets us to a point where we can comfortably come into the next matchup with a move, and sometimes that matters. So whenever you can overfarm, it's usually a good idea to do so. We have the Medicham here. We're going to be able to tank at least 1 wild charge and shield the next, and then Corsola should just be able to outbulk the Mag Cargo with that just massive HP stat or defense. I don't even know what it's just got some bulk to it. All right, that's all I got, man. Wild charge is going to get the shield here, and then we're going to go for a dynamic punch to get rid of this Electrode. I thought about an undercharge potentially, but I don't want to risk getting it wrong, especially when the Magcargo is already so low and they can never hold 2 charge moves. So as long as they throw energy, they still need another Incinerate to get to a move. And it doesn't matter because we're going to be able to come in with Corsola and end the game anyway here. So good game to the opponent. Next game up, we got Corsola into Ledian. This is a interesting matchup to say the least. We're doing double super effective damage, but they have the potential to land a Dynamic Punch at some point. And honestly, I don't know the Bug Bite counts to Dynamic Punch, and I also was worried they might have counter, which thankfully they don't. But the Rock Blast would do a ton of damage. Even for double super effective, same type attack bonus damage, that did not do a lot. It's a bug flying type, and that did not do enough damage, but they do straight send the Dynamic Punch, so it looks like the opponent may be willing to just go down a shield here, or go up a shield here, I should say, and win or lose lead and then get something in. But their best response to my Corsola here is their Slowbro, and this tells me that they don't have a strong Corsola answer on this team at all. So I'm going to go ahead and save it for later. The opponent comes in with that Soul Rock, and we can go for the Trailblaze. Now, in hindsight, I think I should have gone for the lunge. For the life of me, the bug and rock interaction going, the bug going into the rock, for some reason I'm like, is it neutral, is it resisted? And I don't ever remember in the moment, so I just went for the safe Trailblaze, knowing that that was going to be enough to do super effective damage. And then I'm going to start going for the lunge at some point. But here I'm just going to go ahead and, just take it. I'm not really worried about it. We have the Medicham. They have an attack drop as well. I do have to remember that these things do have Solar Beam, so I can't really just come in with my Corsola here. So what I'm going to do is come in with Medicham. The opponent swaps into the Slowbro, and I'm going to counter swap in my Corsola. And I mean, they just land a Surf, but I'm still going to be able to get to a Rock Blast. I was hoping to go for the Power Gem, but wasn't going to be able to get there, unfortunately. Rock Blast will knock out the opponent here, but they've been able to reset the debuff from that lunge from earlier, so I need this Dynamic Punch to do enough before they land a Psychic or worse, even a Solar Beam, because I've never taken a Solar Beam on my Medicham. I don't know how much damage it does, and it doesn't do enough. Now, I need to get to this Dynamic Punch. I'm nearly there. Whatever they're throwing, I need to be able to live it. Let's see how much damage the Solar Beam. Oh, will we hang on? And Medicham, with those PvP IVs, those high-rank PvP IVs, is going to be able to hang on to the Solar Beam, deliver the Dynamic Punch, and take out the Soul Rock. And we're getting into the next game. We got Corsola versus Seeking. This is a pretty devilishly bad matchup for Corsola. You wouldn't think so because of the fact that they're doing poison damage fast move, but they have Drill Run, and that is something that I have to find out how much it's going to do. I'm going to shield the first one here because they're most likely to go ahead and throw the Drill Run first and then start Icy Winding me after they land one of those, but I'm going to get even shields here, and when I do, I'm going to go swap straight into my Medicham, and the opponent doesn't throw their energy right away, which is interesting. I know they get to the next move on 6, which is exactly when I get to the Dynamic Punch. They were looking to maybe bank some energy and swap, but unfortunately was able to get to that move. And fortunately for us, that does some very important chip damage to the not a Corsola. I'm looking at Corsola. It's Seeking. It's really Seeking, Brain. That's what we're seeking the answer here. Is what we're trying to do. So opponent's going to get to a move. I'm going to let it go, and then I can actually just farm this down with Corsola, and they can land a Shadow Ball on this thing if they want to. But of course, in usual Niantic game fashion, the opponent throws right away because they can, and we don't get to sneak a move. Imagine if and when that ever gets fixed, how many people are going to lose games because they throw right away? Oh, it's going to be unreal, dude. Anyway, opponent is going to be able to land that Drill Run now. They have it loaded. I need to hope that Ariados can I can just handle the rest of this game here. We're going to be able to get this move off, but I don't know, man. We'll have to see what's in the back. The opponent has the Licky Licky, and we are one away from a move, and now it's going to come down to, even though we are down a shield, can we survive these charge moves, and can we get off a couple of moves here? One lunge won't get it done, but the second lunge should get the shield, so I need to go for, I'm expecting to throw the Earthquake right away here. I'm going to be going for 3, 4. I should have gone for the CMP tie. That might have actually gotten the shield from them in that moment, but they go for the Body Slam, and they're going to be able to KO us here, and I don't have the ability to get to 2 moves here, so unfortunately, the Licky's going to be able to take this one because I overfarmed when I shouldn't have, because I was just, I'm expecting to go for the timing, and I did it wrong, so my bad, honestly. Good game to the opponent. Shadow Scizor in the lead, another Pokemon that I've been messing around with in this cup in my downtime here. And I gotta say, this thing is frightening, especially if you can keep it lined up on those poison types. This thing just shreds through the poison types. I've gotten a couple Night Slash boosts too. It's quite nice. But I'm going to go into Medicham here just to soak the energy. At this point, I'm really not sure what the opponent's going to have in back, but I imagine that they'll probably have something in the back that's going to be able to beat the water type. So we might see a Licky Licky. We might see an opponent maybe having a dragon type. They also might have Seeking or Alomomola, right? So some strong answers to fire here. They have the Alomomola. We are going to be able to land a Dynamic Punch, and because of the Medicham's bulk and pacing with Psycho Cut, we're also going to be able to get to another Dynamic Punch to get some chip damage here, which is really helpful. And I'm going to hard swap into my Ariados here to start getting ahead on energy and see if I can't get to a move, and we are going to be able to hit this lunge off and potentially force a shield off the opponent here, unless they want to lose all the energy on their fish, which they do, which is a fine thing with me. Now, even though Scizor does resist these moves, it doesn't mean that they don't do damage. A lunge would do a ton of damage to a Scizor. I'm going to let this go because I think it's just a Night Slash, and at this point, I'm going to go ahead and try and get this Scizor off the field, or if the opponent decides they want to put down their final shield, which is fine with me, I'll go ahead and just use mine on Corsola. The opponent has a Druddigon, however, and 2 shields is not going to save me from all of this damage that is coming through from these Dragon Claws, and this is going to be a very difficult fight to win here. So we're going to be going for as much damage as possible. Trying to catch a move on the Medicham was really my only hope. The opponent's going to be able to get to basically another charge move here because of the farm I gave them, and unfortunately that's going to put them in a position where I think they just win the game, especially if they're going to be able to successfully catch this Rock Blast, as I need to get rid of this thing, but also get to a charge move against the Scizor, and I was trying to get within just a couple of bubbles of the next move, but unfortunately the Dragon Tail is just adding up too much, and these bullet punches will be lethal, and the opponent even gets to a charge move to win the game to boot. So that's just unfortunate here. The opponent had a really fun, interesting team. I respect that a lot, and we are going to go down to it. Good game. Next game, we got another Ariados lead here. Now, the last opponent, I believe, was not so great with their timing, so we'll see how this match goes when the opponent's timing their moves properly. They are going to not... Oh, maybe this is the opponent. One of my opponents in this video, I believe, had the Ariados with good timing, and then we had another one with not so great timing. The opponent here, however, lets us get the move off without even going for a charge move. They did actually, though, the timing was fine, but they threw late, but now they're going to be able to get to 2 lunges here against my Medicham, which... I mean, in this case, when Ariados can basically one-shot with a Trailblaze, I need to be able to divert that energy elsewhere. So we're going to be going to a Psychic. The opponent has not swapped out yet. Maybe they're not expecting Psychic, but they do shield to respect it. But all of their shields are down now, which is very nice here, as I can just now let Medicham go. It's already been debuffed twice. It's not going to be doing much more for me. It got the shield for me, and that's all I could ask for. Corsola is going to come back in. Excuse me. And I still haven't seen what's in the back yet. So, unfortunately, no, Siri, I'm not talking to you. Stop it, Siri. We're going to be able to get this Rock Blast off, overfarming by just a little bit to make sure that we can get there before they get to a move. And then we're going to be able to see what they have in the back. It's a Scrafty. Ariados is going to have to put the team on its back right now, as the Scrafty is looking to stay in and go for these counters. They're probably going to try to chip and then get into whatever they have in the back here. But the lunge is fine. They actually save the energy. And honestly, that's a smart move by them, going for the play to just bank the energy for later, knowing that a Thunder Punch would be doing a lot of damage to Corsola, being super effective. But Corsola is still pretty bulky, so we'll have to see how much damage that ends up doing if they even have it. Corsola is pretty healthy in the back, and I'm hopeful that I can use Ariados to get rid of this Licky Licky so I can put at least another lunge worth of damage into the opponent's Scrafty. But what ends up happening here is I swap in immediately to combo play the Licky Licky to get rid of it and its energy, and I'm going to hope that Scrafty in the back Scrafty's not going to be able to completely knock out my Ariados here, and we can get to a charge move. Thunder Punch is not going to be lethal, and I'm not able to get to a move, so it's all up to Ariados. Can we get to the move? No. No, the opponent throws a charge move, and I feel like it's over, but it's a Thunder Punch, and that's not enough. That's not a foul play, and we're going to be able to get this lunge off, and Ariados at the last moment is going to be able to pull out a lunge and take this game for us. The opponent maybe had Power Up Punch, Thunder Punch, or I don't know what they had, but definitely them not running foul play or not throwing foul play won us the game there, bailing us out for a couple of 3-2 sets in a row. Again, not really looking to say this is a must-have climbing Pokemon. I'm just trying to show off Corsola because I haven't seen a lot of people talk about it yet. And I just figured, you know what? Here's something fresh. Even though you're probably not going to play it, you're probably never going to see it because I haven't seen one at all yet, this entire rotation. But it's out there. Niantic had banned it at one point, probably because of regular Galarian Corsola, and here it is. Niantic has unbanned it, and it's unleashed upon the world, and it's really not doing anything. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. We'll catch you guys on stream later as I'm back from my little break here. Going to be 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for all those of you who tune in for the streams. I kind of realized I forgot to say that earlier, but we'll see you guys later on, and thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.